Welcome back, Patriots, for another episode of the Ball Brad Show. It is officially November 8th. We are a few days out from the election. And let me tell you, yeah, I see in the chat, yes, we did win. And boy, oh boy, is change already happening. And Donald Trump isn't even in office yet. This is bonkers. We got a lot of stuff coming up here, folks. Normally Friday is we're going to sit back and chill day. No, sir. We have a lot of news to get to, and you bet your ass we will. Hit that like and subscribe button. Definitely hit that like button. It does help us over at YouTube as well as Rumble. We're on all major platforms. We're on X. We're on Rumble. We're on Twitter, which is X. We're on YouTube. Folks, it's really great to see all of you this fine morning. I'll tell you what, today feels just as good as yesterday. I'm still living it up with Mr. 45. Winning. Nothing but winning. The opposite of the presidency, baby. Now, let's get into all the changes here because you guys, things are happening fast. And I'll be honest, a little bit faster than I thought, okay? A little bit faster than I thought. The first one is here, New York City Mayor Eric Adams. Well, he's ending the debit card vouchers for illegal aliens. Just a flip of a dime. 24 hours after Donald Trump is elected the next president, he goes, we're not doing it anymore. No more debit cards. We don't have the money, right? So, good move on Mayor Eric Adams. I can't believe I'm saying that, but I feel like I'm going to be saying a lot of things I never thought I would say before. And here's the breaking news on that story.
The mayor just announced that the city will no longer issue vouchers to migrants to pay for food, ending a controversial program that had repeatedly come under attack by conservatives and others.
This pilot program in New York City, drenched in both humanity and controversy, distributed debit cards to migrant families staying in city-funded hotels and allowing them to buy their own food. Eyewitness News reporter Josh Einiger following the breaking news for us. Josh?
Well, Bill, it's a program that, as you say, generated plenty of controversy, but now its absence may raise even more questions. The so-called Immediate Response Cards pilot program was designed to help feed migrant families who'd found themselves in New York with no way to afford food. The one-year contract provided what the city described as culturally relevant food to 2,600 migrant families, allowing them to basically buy what they wanted. A family of four with two kids under 5 got about $350 per week to cover food in a program the city said would actually save taxpayers millions a year. It also reduced food waste. You may remember the food the city had been providing in migrant shelters was seen as not culturally sensitive to the needs of some migrant groups, and it ended up just going to waste. For more than a year, the city was groaning under the weight of...
You guys hear that? They were literally throwing the food out. They weren't eating it. They were complaining that they were getting free food.
More than 200,000 asylum seekers. Officials say the migrant population has actually reduced lately. In fact, a massive shelter on Roosevelt Island is in the process of closing. In the meantime, Mayor Adams spoke on the phone yesterday with President-elect Donald Trump, who had vowed during his campaign to mass deport migrants. Aside from congratulating him on his win, though, Adams today would not say what they discussed.
You're not getting any money, Mayor. I'm going to sit there and flood your city. Right. And Danielle said it right. No one cares if I can afford food. Well, you know what? Things have changed, my friend. Fellow patriot, things have changed because you have a guy in office now that I know you probably helped elect to that does care. Finally, we have a Senate that cares about the American people. Finally, we have Mr. 45 back in office. Daddy's home and he's not happy. Daddy's home and things are about to be taken care of real damn quick. Case in point, right now, you already saw what's going on in New York. Remember, New York was a sanctuary city. It was a right to shelter place. They actually were asking, I don't know if you all remember this. Things were so bad in New York that they were asking residents of the city to go up and take in a bunch of illegal immigrants because they didn't have any place for them. So things are changing real fast, folks, really fast. Now, Donald Trump, just some big news here. He's already sat there and named his House Chief of Staff, meaning the White House, baby. What other house could it be? This was kind of a given. Usually your campaign manager is the one that's going to be kind of going to the White House with you. And Susie, is it Wills? Forgive me for mispronouncing her name, but she's the first ever female White House chief of staff. But I was just told, honestly, maybe a couple weeks ago, week and a half ago, that Donald Trump hates women. I was told that Donald Trump does not like women. And I was told there wasn't strong women around Donald Trump or intellectual women. That's what we were all told, right? By Mark Cuban, right? The Democrats, all those things for a long time. Weird. It obviously it was bullshit, right? I mean, he had women under his last administration too. So, I mean, Kayleigh McEnany is one of the greatest, right? She's probably will go down as the greatest White House press secretary in all of U.S. history. So Susie just helped me achieve one of the greatest political victories in American history. And that actually is true, by the way. There ain't no question about that. And it was an integral part of my 2016 and 2020 successful campaigns. Susie is tough, smart, innovative, and is universally admired and respected. But I was told that he didn't like women. Why would he possibly say something like this? Because the media lies. And you thought the media lying to you for the last 3.5 years to cover Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's ass was bad? Wait till they start fabricating stuff once again. Remember Donald Trump was in office. The PP hoax tape, right? The Russia hoax, the hoaxy here, the hoaxy wokesy there. Everybody do a hoaxy pokesy. Yeah, that's all coming back again, folks. They ain't stopping. Now, we might be in a little bit of a better situation because we have the Senate, and hopefully, fingers crossed, that we have the House as well. If we have all three, things are going to be looking a little bit better. Some of you guys are jumping the gun in the chat. I haven't got there yet. Yes. Big changes. I know all the stories. Oh, we're getting there, folks. We're getting there. I'm the one driving, okay? I'm driving, you're the passengers. I appreciate you guys. No, Rich, I'm joking. Rich, I'm joking. I love you. So other changes that will probably happen here is not only is the GOP grilling the FBI, but this dude, meaning the FBI director, better have his ass fired within 24 hours of Donald Trump taking office. We'll get there. I'm jumping the gun a little bit. Pedal to the metal. Jim Jordan says FBI Director for Christopher Wray, who lied to Congress, by the way. What was the FD 1023 form? What was that? I don't think that exists. And Chuck Grassley holds up the form. Y'all remember that one? That's why you got to watch every day. Like Dan been watching the show for 6 months straight, hasn't missed an episode. He held up the FD 23 form and said, I have it right here. Why are you telling me it doesn't exist? Then he started fumbling through his words because he got caught with his pants down. There you go. Patriarch Troll says, I'm a backseat driver. That's okay, baby. We're all driving here. Christopher Wray must explain why the agency released figures showing violent crime decreased in 2022 and then just quietly, which we covered here, not many outlets did, quietly amended the increase instead. Like he just quietly sat there and changed the numbers. Y'all remember that? It was about 2-3 weeks ago. Democrats used the figures to rebuke claims that the party's policies had led to crime, heralding its historic declines. But that wasn't the case. And we were all sitting here going, well, I have eyes. I can see what's going on. I'm seeing crime run rampant. And you're telling me crime is down because you want to gaslight the shit out of me all the time, coming from the White House, coming from the FBI, coming from the CIA, all these 3-letter agencies. You're telling me all these things aren't happening when I'm looking around seeing, well, it looks like it is. Everything seems to be kind of crumbling around me. Well, yes, correct. They did, in fact, sit there and manipulate the numbers, and they lied to all of you. In September 2023, the Federal Reserve of Prisons released uniform crime reporting data purporting to show a 2.1% decrease in crime in 2021-2022, right? So then you had Joe Biden, Karine Jean-Pierre, all of these psychos on the Democrat part of the aisle that sat there and espoused, oh, well, crime is down. Look what's going on. And by the way, it's actually worse than what's going on when they changed the crime numbers, which we'll get to in one moment, because they actually weren't reporting the crime. They were told not to report specific crimes. So the FBI actually underreported things that were taking place. Well, if you recall, we covered it last month. The FBI secretly and quietly revised the data. Didn't come out with a PSA going, yeah, hey, oh, sorry, a little bit of an oopsie. No, they quietly embedded and changed the 2022 data to show that violent crime had actually increased by 4.5%, meaning they weren't even close, not even close to taking place. That increase is actually higher. because, like I said, the crimes were being underreported. So Jim Jordan is going to slap this guy around. Like I said, Donald Trump needs to have this guy's name on his desk for a nice little signature of, "You're fired, bitch. Get out, Christopher. Get out." So that's what I want to see first day of office. Now, Donald Trump has come out with a video yesterday that went viral. Of course it would, because Mr. 45 and soon to be 47, that's all he does is go viral. So here's Donald Trump with a message, and we're watching the whole damn thing. It's 3 minutes and 39 seconds. We love the guy. We voted for him. Trace, I guess I don't need to. No, I'm not going to go there with that joke. I might get in trouble. Well, I voted for him for 3 times. We're going to give the man his time. Here we go.
The deep state and reclaim our democracy from Washington corruption once and for all, and corruption it is. First, I will immediately reissue my 2020 executive order restoring the president's authority to remove rogue bureaucrats, and I will wield that power very aggressively. Second, we will clean out all of the corrupt actors in our national security and intelligence apparatus, and there are plenty of them. The departments and agencies that have been weaponized will be completely overhauled so that faceless bureaucrats will never again be able to target and persecute conservatives, Christians, or the left's political enemies, which they're doing now at a level that nobody can believe even possible. Trump. Third, we will totally reform FISA courts, which are so corrupt that the judges seemingly do not care when they are lied to in warrant applications. So many judges have seen so many applications that they know were wrong, or at least they must have known. They do nothing about it. They're lied to. Fourth, to expose the hoaxes and abuses of power that have been tearing our country apart, we will establish a Truth and Reconciliation Commission to declassify and publish all documents on deep state spying, censorship, and corruption, and there are plenty of them. Fifth, we will launch a major crackdown on government leakers who collude with the fake news to deliberately weave false narratives and to subvert our government and our democracy. When possible, we will press criminal charges. Sixth, we will make every Inspector General's office independent and physically separated from the departments they oversee, so they do not become the protectors of the deep state. Seventh, I will ask Congress to establish an independent auditing system to continually monitor our intelligence agencies to ensure they are not spying on our citizens or running disinformation campaigns against the American people, or that they are not spying on someone's campaign like they spied on my campaign. Eighth, we will continue the effort launched by the Trump administration to move parts of the sprawling federal bureaucracy to new locations outside the Washington swamp. Just as I moved the Bureau of Land Management to Colorado, as many as 100,000 government positions could be moved out, and I mean immediately, of Washington to places filled with patriots who love America, and they really do love America. Ninth, I will work to ban federal bureaucrats from taking jobs at the companies they deal with and that they regulate. So they deal with these companies and they regulate these companies, and then they want to take jobs from these companies. Doesn't work that way. Such a public display cannot go on, and it's taking place all the time, like with Big Pharma. Finally, I will push a constitutional amendment to impose term limits on members of Congress. This is how I will shatter the deep state and restore government that is controlled by the people and for the people. Thank you very much.
No. Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, baby. Ooh, I got goosebumps on that last one. I got big goosebumps on that last one. Change is happening, and it's happening fast, and it's going to happen day one, baby. I want that on my desk. You're all fired. Everyone's fired. So here he is. I mean, and by the way, if you don't like cussing, just plug your ears for a moment. Trump ain't fucking around. Oh, baby, no, he isn't. Just check what he's saying here. I want these guys' names on my desk day one. You're fired. Get out. You're gone.
I will ask for the resignations of every single senior military official who touched the Afghanistan disaster. I want their resignations immediately. And I want them on the desk in the Oval Office, the Resolute desk. I want them on at 12 o'clock. Inauguration Day, everybody involved with that disaster. When you have a disaster so stupid as that caused us such problem, you don't know what that's done to the reputation of our country, the Afghanistan disaster. This house cleaning will be a signal to the entire world and America military and everybody else. They want people to be held accountable for failure and incompetence. And it's just not acceptable that something like that could happen.
Daddy was gone. The home was a mess, and now he's pissed. Oh, everything's being cleaned out, boys and girls. Oh, get ready. And it's not just him. I mean, Elon Musk comes out just yesterday. He's like, yeah, I think we can actually pretty much do away with a lot of these government agencies. It's kind of a little bit too big. And as a conservative, this is what I love to see, baby. This is what I want to see, is us bringing down and making government a little bit smaller and getting the hell out of our lives. Change is happening, folks. It's happening. And Donald Trump isn't even in office yet.
And he's very supportive of having some kind of, government efficiency commission. You can call it Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE. I kind of like DOGE. It's more fun. Where we just take a look at all the federal agencies and say, do we really need whatever it is, 428 federal agencies? Like, if there's so many that people have never even heard of, and that have overlapping areas of responsibility, we should, there are more federal agencies than there are years since the establishment of the United States, which means that we've created more than one federal agency per year on average. That seems a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. So we should have, that seems crazy.
And look, he's correct. He's correct. And like I said, do we really need whatever it is, 428 federal agencies? I think we should be able to get away with 99. This was huge for me when Donald Trump said, hey, we're bringing on Elon Musk here to start cutting things, to start a little snippy because a lot of wasteful spending's going on. And look, we're all hurting here. And I'm a little bit tired of us spending trillions of dollars and being $35 trillion in debt, which either we're going to have to pay back, which the average American taxpayer owes $265,000 to the federal government if we were to be called on our notes today. I don't think many of you have $265,000 sitting around. If you do, well, become a member today here on the Bald Brad Show, okay? 99 cents a month. You can feed a bald conservative, or for $4.99. So greatly appreciated. But in all seriousness, I'm happy that Elon Musk is going to be a part of kind of looking into the government, because remember, the Pentagon, you guys, has failed 6 consecutive audits. Now, I'm going to say that again because not a lot of people know that. The Pentagon has failed 6 consecutive audits. Now, if you were like Google, Apple, any of these public entities that failed an audit 6 consecutive times, do you think things would go a little bit south? Do you think your company might fall apart because nobody trusts it? Because there's something foosery in terms of taking place, or a certain level of error happening, and that people aren't going to want to invest and have faith in that company, hence why it crumbles? Well, why is it the Pentagon gets away with 6 failed consecutive audits? So Elon Musk is going to look into all this for us. And like I said, start cutting the paper, start looking, because your ass is going to be out. Now, Donald Trump gets elected, right, boys? Right, girls? And there's some people shitting their pants right now. And yeah, damn right, America's back, baby. That delivers a salute right there. America's back big time. Oh, we're back better than ever, baby. Let me tell you. The red wave was there from sea to shining sea, baby. And it felt damn good election night, did it not? And Dylan's in here. What's up, baby? We love Dylan. Look, sea to shining sea, a lot of stuff took place. And Iran is shitting their pants right now. Not the people, but the government. Oh, man, they are, quote, terrified of Trump presidency as Iranian currency falls to an all-time low. Oh, boy, they don't know what to do. Oh, shit. Fuck. They don't know what to do. So after President-elect Trump's victory, Iran must now prepare to contend with the man it's been trying to assassinate for years. And he's pissed. Trumpy boy is pissed, and rightfully so. Fuck around and find out, huh? Tehran has reportedly been interfering in the U.S. election on behalf of Vice President Kamala Harris. Weird. With former President Trump's win, the regime will now have to prepare for the U.S. leader who is, at the very least, a wild card. Meaning, you don't want to mess with Trump, boys. So prepare him here. He's shaking in his boots. He ain't happy. Daddy's home. Oh, Daddy's home. And Daddy ain't happy. Yeah, you know what? Try it. Just try it. Because I want to see some drone footage of these a-holes in their little pontoon boats effing around with our merchant vessels. And you know what? Enough of this. Don't do that. Don't do that. Stop it. Something's going to happen. No. I want Trump to come out and say, blow him out of the water. No warnings. No over the bow. I want it kaboomy. And I'll tell you what, that will stop real damn quick. A lot of this is going to stop real damn quick. And a lot of it is. Like I said, the title is Change is already happening, folks. And wait till we get to this next thing here. And Donald Trump isn't even in office yet. Day one. Oh boy, people are being fired. The first year is going to be freaking bonkers, especially if we get the House. Now, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, don't just hit that like button, but hit that subscribe and follow button to where you're at. If you're over at YouTube, come over to Rumble. What are you doing? Come over to Rumble. You see the Rumble Studio. They are the platform of creators such as myself, especially small creators, folks. We're not a big channel. And, YouTube is, they're commies. Rumble is the place of free speech, baby. So, that's where my loyalty stands. And like Dylan's in the chat, Dylan has been taking such good care of us. And I know I hyped the guy up a lot, but really, if he sucked at his job, I would let you guys know the guy's phenomenal. A 1 through 10, 10 being the best, the guy's a 10. The guy's a 10. And I'll just say, I don't even know if he's in here anymore, but bless his heart. So here's some of the changes, you guys. You ready for this? Take a swig real quick. All right. Donald Trump gets elected as 47th president of the United States. Within 48 hours, the stock market goes through the roof, by the way. Stock market's was 1,200 points up, super business friendly. Everybody is ecstatic. Everybody is happy. Skipping, rants, raving, blah, blah, blah. Well, Steve Madden is halting manufacturing in China by half in a year. Shit. Hamas, 24 hours, Donald Trump gets elected, calls for an end to the war in the Middle East. Trump comes out, I'm ending all of this, and the first day I'm going to figure it out. As president-elect, I'm going to figure out this war in Ukraine. I'm going to figure out all this stuff. I'm not messing around. Look at this. Look, the Iranians-backed Houthis announced the ceasefire. Oh, fuck, please stop. Oh, God. Right? Please. Yeah, because you know what? When you get somebody in office that's a true leader, that doesn't sit there and screw around, doesn't pussyfoot, that's when people start making changes themselves. Donald Trump hasn't had to do jack shit other than be elected. And you know what? He has the country behind him. The map shows it. The whole country's behind Trump. The whole country's behind the leader. You ain't messing around with all of us. Now we're a little pissed. And now we're a little bit hungry. And now we want change. And now we ain't messing around because the adults are the leaders now. We're tired of seeing all these lefties act around and kick and scream, whine. No. The adults are back. We're going to make some changes. We're going to clean this place up. We ain't messing around anymore. And you know what? Nobody's going to sit there and mess with the United States of America no longer. The Iranian-backed Houthis announced a ceasefire. Putin said he's ready to work towards peace. Putin said he's ready to work towards peace, baby. All of this is within 24 hours of Donald Trump being elected president, folks. Dizzy and Deaf with the $20. Thank you for everything, Brad. America's back. God bless us all. No, thank you, sir, for the $20. And thank you for not just subscribing and being a member in various places, but also, giving your hard-earned money to the podcast so it helps us grow. Greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. We are grassroots, folks. We are grassroots. Another donation coming in. David Prince, thank you so much, and has contributed many times here with the $5. Everyone rags on Arizona, specifically Maricopa County. Yes, we do. I was one of them because they take so long to get the election results. California is even worse. Arizona, 76% counted. California is only 58%. Look, progressives are lazy, man. I live here. Don't blame me. Orange County's red. Orange County's red. So, but you are correct. Yeah. Look, I will never sit there and really kind of play California being up as the good guy because they're really not. But look at this change, huh? Yes, baby. Yes. Winning. Remember that Charlie Sheen thing? We used to go, winning. Tiger blood or whatever it was. Now, believe it or not, some people actually have their head on straight. And this clip went viral. It was from CNN. And this woman here in the middle, she just tells it like it is the CNN. Saying, look, the Democrat Party is not the party of common sense anymore. You are so far gone. You are a shell of what you used to be. And you're not recognizable anymore. And the people see it.
Now, I'm going to speak some hard truths to my friends in the Democratic Party. This is not Joe Biden's fault. It's not Kamala Harris's fault. It's not Barack Obama's fault. It is the fault of the Democratic Party in not knowing how to communicate effectively to voters. We are not the...
No, it's not just communicating effectively. It's also just you weren't doing your damn job. It goes hand in hand. Not only did you just say a bunch of foolish stuff, you also did a bunch of foolish stuff. That's also the problem. You could say a bunch of crazy shit and do a lot of good things because Trump does that, quite frankly. Trump says a lot of things, but he does a lot of great things.
The party of common sense, which is what the message that voters sent to us. For a number of reasons. We don't know how to speak to voters. When we address Latino, and language has meaning. When we address Latino voters as Latinx, for instance, because that's the politically correct thing to do. It makes them think that we don't even live on the same planet as they do. When we are too afraid to say that, hey, college kids, if you're trashing a campus at Columbia University because you're unhappy about some sort of policy and you're taking over a university and you're trashing it and preventing other students from learning, that is unacceptable. But we're so worried about alienating one or another cohort in our coalition that we don't know what to say when normal people look at that and say, wait a second, I send my kids to college so they can learn, not so that they can burn buildings and trash lawns, right? And so on and so forth. When we put pronouns after names and say she, her, as opposed to saying, you know what, if I call you by the wrong pronoun, call me out, I'm sorry, I won't do it again. But stop with the virtue signaling and just speak to people like they're normal. There's nothing I'm going to say to Shermichael that I'm not going to say to you, that I'm not going to say to somebody else. I speak the same language to everybody. But that's not what Democrats do. We constantly try to parse out different ways of speaking to different cohorts because our focus groups or our polling shows that so-and-so appeals to such and such. That's not how normal people think. It's not common sense. And we need to start being the party of common sense again. Joe Biden is not responsible for that. Neither is Kamala Harris. It is a problem that Democrats have had for years. I've been banging the drum on this for, I don't know.
No, they are the problem. Don't give me that crap. They're the problem. Okay. Now remember, okay, hey, it's CNN. It's a Democrat talking. All right. So they're not everything's going to come out that's truthful. No. It's not only the things that they said and their lack of communication and not having an actual clue what the hell's going on, but it's also the fact that you did a lot of crazy shit. And we're all tired of it, and we're all hurting from it. Just like Danielle said at the top of the show here in the chat over on YouTube going, hey, I can't even pay my own groceries. Why the hell am I giving a bunch of illegal immigrants debit cards over in New York City to buy whatever the hell they want? Great question. Well, you know what? Like I said, Daddy's home, and change is happening, and America's back, and you are put first now. Now, we always put you first right here on the Ball Brad Show. I mean, the Patriots are in the chat. The Patriots have spoken. We were here on election night. We've been here together for a while. So that's that. Now, there was this huge news, and I want to see if I find it. If it's not up here, I'll make sure I grab it for you right now. There was this kind of big bombshell that took place yesterday. Everyone's talking about. Here it is. Jackie Heinrich, it's been a while since we've stepped into the White House press briefing room, folks. Now, if you're new to the Ball Brad Show, we kind of grew and became known for covering the White House press briefings and kind of reacting to it, giving our commentary, calling out this psycho and Jen Psaki. We've been known for that. So much so that two White House correspondents, Jackie Heinrich of Fox News, which you're about to see, and then Philip Wegman of Real Clear Politics, well, let's just say we're friendly. Let's just say that. So people go, well, that's bullshit. You only have 60,000 subscribers. I think back then it was like 20,000 or whatever. Why would anybody watch your channel? Okay, well, believe what you want, but here's Jackie Heinrich and Karine Jean-Pierre going at it. So much so that Karine Jean-Pierre, towards the end, it's a little bit of a long clip, she walks off the stage. She leaves again. She can't take it. And this went viral yesterday.
Thank you, Karine. Just to follow up on the pardon question, is a commutation also still off the table?
For who you're talking about? Oh, no. I mean, we're not. That's not what we're going to do.
So you had said on Air Force One that the president would not consider a commutation of his sentence.
Yeah,
you're saying that still stands? Okay,
stands.
and then I heard you earlier in the briefing talking about the pandemic's role in the outcome of this election. And it sounds like that is being looked at internally as potentially one of the causes of this outcome. But Richie Torres, the congressman, tweeted, Donald Trump has no greater friend than the far left, which has managed to alienate historic numbers of Latinos, Blacks, Asians, and Jews from the Democratic Party with absurdities like defund the police or From the River to the Sea or Latinx. Is the administration, campaign, the Democratic Party looking at the pandemic as the cause rather than, is that easier than looking in the mirror?
So look, let's step back here. I think I've been, and the president and the vice president has been pretty clear in understanding that the American people have spoken and respecting that. I think we have tried to be incredibly respectful of what happened 2 nights ago. And we're going to continue to do that.
I mean, the Democrats have literally come out and said, you guys, that, oh, well, you guys sit there supporting a felon, a racist, a Nazi, the guy's going to destroy the country. What the hell are you talking about, Karine?
And I'm not going to speak to every person in the Democratic Party who has an opinion or a thought. I'm just not. It is not something that I'm going to do. I talked about the political toll on incumbent parties around the world as a data point, right? As something that we have seen pretty consistently with G7 allies in this time. And obviously, one of the things that occurred was the pandemic. It did. It caused disruption. It caused the supply chain to be disrupted and and caused the economy to be turned upside down. While we put policies, and we are in fact leading the world on the economy, it doesn't stop the fact that there has been a political toll for incumbents. That is something that I'm telling you as a data point to share, because we know that you guys would have questions. That's a data point that I'm using. And I'm also saying that there's going to be election experts in the next days, weeks, months, who are going to, again, looking under the hood, kick the tires, trying to figure out exactly what happened.
You guys, I hand the guy, I'm being sincere right now. I have no idea what the hell she's talking about. The question was, hey, you're kind of blaming everything on the pandemic. Is that legit? And then she just starts rambling. Not a clue.
2 nights ago. And so there are the pundits. They're going to speak to that. They're the experts. And so we'll have more information as they look at the data. And so we'll leave that to them. And so I'm offering you our perspective, our thoughts, how we're going to move for the next 74 days. And I think what Americans should be assured of is that this is a president that's going to put the American people first.
She better be talking about Donald Trump. She better be talking about Trump, because I'll tell you what, Joe ain't doing it. You kidding me? Joe went on vacation again. Joe went on fucking vacation again. He was kicking his feet in the beaches of Delaware. Don't give me this shit. It's a fucking hurricane. The guy goes on vacation.
That's what people could be assured for.
Is examination happening at all inside, though? Because as Gabe mentioned, this administration messaged to millions of Americans that they're going to wake up the day after the election if Trump won and have their rights stripped away, that democracy would crumble, and the president said today we're going to be okay. So how do you square that?
I can't square that. I'm going to square that in a way that hopefully makes sense, because I've been answering this question multiple times. The American people made the decision. There was an election 2 nights ago. There was. And it was a free and fair election. And we respect the election process. We do. And Americans spoke. And so the job of the president...
They don't respect the election process, by the way. They actually wanted illegal immigrants to vote. That's why we saw it had to go up to the Supreme Court in Virginia to remove 1,600 illegal immigrants, self-described illegal immigrants, along with their proof of citizenship of their lack of. We had to work with the Supreme Court to get that removed. You're allowing this stuff to happen. And like the state of Michigan, you just needed a student ID to vote. So basically you could be a, Chinese national and vote, which is what we saw. Don't give us this crap, Green.
President is to make sure we respect that. The job of the president is to make sure that we have a peaceful transfer of power. That is what the American people deserve. And that's what we're going to, it's not complicated. It's truly as simple as that. As simple as that. The president called the president-elect, invited him to the White House. You know why? Because that's customary. That is customary. That is what you do. If you respect what the American people decided, that's what you do. And that's what the president's going to make sure that the Trump transition.
Now, you guys might be wondering, what the hell was the question again? Well, Jackie Heinrich made the statement of, hey, you know what? You guys were saying if Donald Trump's elected, basically the country's over, right? Everything's going to crumble. You're all screwed, all these things. Well, then he comes out and says, oh, everything's going to be okay. Like, how do you square that? How do you fearmonger for all these days and months ahead of the election, and then the day after, literally hours after Donald Trump was elected, hey, don't worry, everything's going to be okay? Like, how does that make sense? Where's the answer, Karine?
Position has what it needs, which is being led obviously by our chief of staff here. Why? Because the president wants to lead by example. It's not complicated. It really isn't. And you know, that's important.
Example is the message to people who are fearful based on what the messaging was about the stakes.
Well, now you're just twisting everything around, and that's really unfair. No, it is. No, Jackie, it's unfair because I've been standing here trying to be very respectful to what happened the last two nights ago. Being respectful. I've been standing here saying that we respect the decision that the American people made. I've been standing here and saying that the president's going to put the American people first. I've been standing here talking about how the president's going to make sure that they get what they deserve, which is a peaceful transfer of power. I do not appreciate having my words twisted. That is, I have been very clear, very, very, very clear about what the president wants to do, and the vice president. We want to make sure that we deliver for the American people. They deserve a peaceful transfer of power, and that's what you're going to see. Thanks, everybody.
There she goes. She's running off. So that went viral yesterday. Yeah, Joe Biden. It's amazing. You guys, again, as somebody that covers a lot of these White House press briefings for now 4 years straight, it's always been the same messaging. They haven't changed. Oh, he's going to sit there and act on and for the American people. And he's never done it. She's a freaking liar. She's a chronic liar. She basically stole $180,000 from us a year because she hasn't done her job. She hasn't sat there and answered a question in 3.5, 4 years. She consistently lied to the press, which we've covered here. And I actually responded to Jackie Heinrich yesterday on X, and I told her, I said, hey, you know what? This is why I told you that I don't understand why you are always being nice to this woman when she acts like a bee to you all the time. She is just disrespectful to you majority of the time. I don't understand. Maybe it's professionalism that Jackie's trying to do and the others in the room, but this woman does not answer anybody's questions. She's lied to you, meaning she doesn't have any respect for you whatsoever. I don't understand why you are so nice to her. So good on Jackie there for kind of pushing and kind of creating a question that, clearly spooked Karine Jean-Pierre and freaked her out a little bit. Now, one thing we want to emphasize here is not just Rumble, but also Rumble's actions towards supporting free speech. Now, do you enjoy free speech that Rumble is protecting and fighting for? Our show on Rumble is only possible thanks to our viewers supporting Rumble's platform by purchasing Rumble's products. Most of you drink coffee every day. We are a morning show, folks, and that's what we're drinking right now. I don't want to spill it, but we are drinking coffee right now. That's why you have to try Rumble's 1775 coffee. It's actually some of, honestly, the best coffee, and it's a really great price, and it's the same price of the coffee you're buying now, but it's way better. Rumble's 1775 coffee is free from chemicals, yet it is rich in flavor. The stuff is premium. This is because their beans are sourced from high-altitude farms in Bolivia, hand-picked, roasted weekly at their facility. This stuff is fresh, folks. Their facility in Miami, and delivered fresh to your doorstep. And as believers in freedom, buying from Rumble helps fight back against woke corporations like Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts. Join the coffee revolution and brew revolution with Rumble's 1775 coffee. Again, go to 1775coffee.com or use the QR code. Use the code STUDIO and get a free month supply of their cognitive boosting supplement called Limitless when you buy 2 bags of their coffee. Think about that. It's a crazy deal, folks, and the supplement is worth more than the 2 bags of coffee alone. So go to 1775coffee.com and try their amazing coffee. Again, we're a morning show, which is why not only do we plug the great platform of Rumble all the time, but also their coffee. And why don't we just all take a nice little swig together? Love it. And I did slurp it this time because I want to make sure there's coffee in there, because I looked at the camera and I was like, oh, well, it doesn't look like there's anything in there, but there is. There is coffee, and it's good. It's my second cup. That's why you might be wondering, Brad, how do you have so much energy in the morning? You wake up at 4:30, you have multiple jobs. How do you do it? Rumble 1775 coffee, baby. It creates production. Now, speaking of production, we have a good thing going here. Okay. We have a good production. I'm only one guy managing everything myself. The question is that why is The View such dog shit production? I had to find a way to transition this, but it's true. It's true. Millions of dollars spent on this. So they're back. Oh, they're back. Still freaking out. And they're spreading misinformation. So we got some clip keys here for you. We're not going to do it everything, because God forbid I got to sit there and subject you all to this. But here's Sunny Hostin, and they're continuing the bashing of America, where Hostin whines this country missed out on Kamala's leadership. This country missed out on the leadership of moving forward, not going back, the leadership of someone that was trying to unify this country. These people are idiots. They're idiots.
I feel that I was saddened when I saw her, primarily because this is the kind of leadership we could have had. Yeah. And that's what I felt walking away from it. Like, this country missed out on that type of leadership. This country missed out on the leadership of moving forward, not going back. The leadership of someone that was trying to unify this country in a way that I think this country really needs, and it's just going to become more divisive under someone like Donald Trump. And so while I think she certainly met the moment and she was graceful, she exhibited a grace towards him that he didn't deserve.
She was going to unify the country. You guys, it was the Biden-Harris DHS advisory board that called all of you terrorists in your own country. Remember that. The DHS advisory board under the Biden-Harris administration said that if you're a Trump supporter, if you ever served in the military, meaning you're a current member or ever served in the past, or are a religious person, if you're any of those three or the combination of all three, you are a terror risk in your own country. Oh my God, no. Oh, you're an existential threat. MAGA supporters are going to destroy this country. Right, then we showed that lady that sat there. She said, I don't think I can go to sleep because I'm going to wake up a slave. It's like these people are so far gone. They're not with us. They're not with us. I still can't believe that lady said that yesterday. I ain't going to go sleep because I'm going to wake up as a slave. And she's like crying. It's really sad, actually, if you think about it. Somebody living their life like that, thinking that those type of things are going to take place. It's actually really sad. And I want to be clear. Nobody's going to be turned into slaves here. Okay, folks, that's a wild thing to say. But, they get stuff like that from The View and the mainstream media and the legacy. It's not like they just come up with it and pull it out of there. You know what? They're indoctrinated with the Kool-Aid, with the whatever they're smoking is off this radar. So here's another clip.
Do you think that in this post-mortem that needs to happen with Democrats, they need to think about why wasn't she given more lead time? Why didn't Biden give her 6 months or a year to run? But there's bigger pictures. That's a micro. There are some macro issues here. The fact that the nation elected somebody like Donald Trump, who even people who voted for him, I talked to so many of these people, will say, I don't like him. I don't like the things he says, but I felt like my life was better under him.
My life was better under him. So I'm actually glad it kind of cut off there. We have some pretty big wins happening, so the internet's not so great. Forgive me. But I love Donald Trump. The things that he says, the things he does, not everything, but majority of the stuff I think is pretty freaking great. A lot of highlights taking place. So Hostin bitterly declares that Republicans are the ones who need to do the post-mortem here. It's just these. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if these women hit their head against the wall. I'm still trying to figure it out myself, but here we go.
I think that a lot of Democrats missed the moment. They were looking at the micro and not the macro.
Do you think the Republicans missed the moment? What about a post-mortem on the Republican Party, which is the Trump Party right now?
They just swept, though. I mean, I've been talking about what I'd like to see from the Republican Party.
They won, but they're morally bankrupt.
But
they're morally bankrupt, yeah. Do we need to go through the history of the Democrat Party again? Do we need to go through everything the Democrat Party has done? I wrote an entire book of how the left is destroying America, an entire book on it. So maybe I should send it to Houston with a nice little signature for her. Hopefully she comes to our side once in a while. We also have Joy Behar. Now, Joy is probably one of the worst. I mean, in terms of idiocracy, she is, as Trump would say, she is really low IQ. I do mean that, you guys. There are so many times we've shown footage of this woman here. She got all excited because Joe Biden allegedly exercised every morning, and that was proof in the pudding that he was cognitively able to run the country, which nobody believes that. I mean, nobody believes. Joe doesn't even believe that. Joe knows he's not all there. Sometimes he's coherent enough to know that things just ain't working correctly. So Joy Behar lost it during Thursday's broadcast of The View, claiming that because Republicans have put up big wins in the White House and the Senate, and also appeared to poise to hold control of the House, fingers crossed on that one, that the checks and balances written in the United States Constitution had failed. So there's two clips. We're going to go back to back on them, okay? I'm sorry. It's so insane to me.
Meet the moment America needed right now?
Absolutely. She's even inspiring in defeat. Like the things she said about we don't stop fighting. She made the most important statements that when we lose, we accept the results and we peacefully transfer power, because for some reason people forgot what that looked like. So that's what it looks like. And I'm hoping now we can get rid of election denying, because you can't what about this election, but what about that time you guys lost? Election denying has not been popular. The only person to pull it off is Donald Trump. Every other person he endorsed that was an election denier lost their races. So people need to stop doing that. This is over. You had your moment. It was super cool for a second. Now it's not. Bye.
So don't worry. We'll get to the Joy Behar. Like I said, we got back-to-back clips here. I wanted to make sure I got that one in because I know it kind of pissed some of you off. And, well, quite frankly, it's a little bit fun sometimes. So, okay, here's the moment y'all been waiting for.
I'd like to be positive, but today I don't feel, yesterday I felt better. Maybe it was the Valium. But today I feel like we lost the Senate, the Supreme Court, the executive branch. The House is on the verge of going to him. It's pathetic. There are no checks and balances. A completely intelligent, qualified woman lost to a guy who's simulating sex with a microphone. I mean, come on, America.
It feels good. It feels good. Man. Now, they want to talk about the whole, election integrity, right? I showed that for a reason. So I showed that for a reason, and let me show you. Let me get it up here because I don't have it part of my show. Is a lot of people were talking about this, and we talked about it a little bit yesterday. So right here is Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan was talking about the discrepancy in views. Now, I'm still talking about election integrity. I don't know what that broad on The View's talking about. I've been talking about election integrity this entire time. I still think we should look under the hood. I still think we should look into everything because I don't think whether you're Republican or Democrat, I don't care who the hell you are, we need to sit there and have free and fair elections. And I still think we need to look under the hood. Now, everybody's talking about this. There's a nice little graph up top that, hey, something doesn't look like the others. Now, right here, just so you know, because it's hard to see, this is the 2012 election. This is 2016. This is the 2020, and this is 2024. Now, what happened here in 2020 that everyone's talking about is, well, there was a huge bump in votes all of a sudden. That should raise somewhat of alarm bells of like, hey, maybe we should look into this. Like, where did 15 to 20 million votes go from 2020 to 2024? And they're still doing accounting, public accounting, and I was doing auditing. This would perk my interest for sure because we tend to look at the changes from year to year or year over year over year, right? That's all we really do and say, hey, you know what? You have an increase in revenues of about 10%. Where'd this increase come from? If this increase came from one client, well, that kind of poses a problem. We don't generally want to see one client represent such a good portion or of variability amongst all your clients if that's such a big chunk, because if you lose that, well, you just lost 10% of your revenue. Let's go ahead and make sure we flag that for you, whether we're doing a review or we're doing a compilation for you, whatever it may be, and say, hey, look, maybe you want to look into this, blah, blah, blah. If I was doing auditing, if I was actually looking into this and I go, whoa, hey, we need to zoom in on this because year over year, and the trajectory of everything we've seen before this, well, this is an anomaly. This is sticking out to us. Folks, well, what could have happened? I'm gonna play devil's advocate for a second. Let's just pretend there was no fraud, right? Let's just pretend we're in Democrat land now. Well, you could, in theory, have people, because they're voting from home, just turn in more ballots from home and then say, look, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden are such terrible candidates that I'm just not going to sit there and either vote at all in 2024 or I'm not going to vote at the top of the ticket. That's what could potentially happen. Now, I think we all know what probably happened. So we'll leave it at that. So enough of The View. Let's get away from The View. God, icky. Let's look into this. MSNBC host Pearl Clutches says U.S. voted for F around and find out. Well, there's some truth to that, but we're going to go ahead and watch what she says, and then we're going to go to an article that kind of, maybe calls out a little bit of hypocrisy here.
This is about a huge portion of our population who rejected the current system. And what we have to solve for is why. We are the most powerful and prosperous nation in the world. This country is winning. So I want to know why so many people in this country are feeling like we're losing, whether it is the economy, immigration, or, for lack of a better term, wokeism. We have now let misinformation become the accepted information. It has washed over us. Elon Musk, he buys Twitter, and then he uses it almost exclusively to be a propaganda machine, and we've accepted it. We've accepted a narrative that despite an actually great economic recovery, the vibes don't feel good. So we want to reject it and get something else. And the person we are now betting on to change all of it is Donald Trump, a man who did two almost impossible things. He won the American presidency twice, and he drove a casino into the ground. What will the future hold now that America has just decided that we're going to F around and find out? We're
not really F around and find out. The guy's already been president, right? It's not like we don't know what's going to happen here. And a lot of changes are already taking place. Again, he's not even in the White House yet. And Russia already wants to talk negotiations. You got the Iranians saying, hey, the Houthis are asking for a ceasefire. You got stuff. I mean, stuff is happening. Yemen's done, right? Yemen's like, hey, I think we're going to sit here and push for peace as well. I mean, it's happening everywhere. But these people are so far gone, you guys, and delusional, like you wrote in the chat, is they can't figure it out. They're still trying to figure it out. Going, how could he win? How could this happen? And I love how they throw the casino at us. That just shows you they don't know jack shit about business. That this guy has opened up many businesses, and that when you sit there and take some sort of risk in opening up businesses, that there's a chance of failure taking place. But at least you sat there and tried to create something. This nut job here hasn't created anything. Okay, she hasn't done anything, and then she's going to lecture us about spreading misinformation and all these other things. Give me a freaking break. You literally supported the party that actually sat there and pushed the Russia hoax. You supported the party and the intelligence apparatus that said, hey, you know what? The Hunter Biden laptops, Russian misinformation, disinformation. It was actually your party, specifically Karine Jean-Pierre, that lied to the media about not knowing the classified documents. It was your party that spread that photograph of Mar-a-Lago with Donald Trump's classified documents. That was a manipulated photo. So don't give me this shit that we're spreading misinformation. Your literally site is called MSN. I call it DNC because that's all they are. They're just an outgrowth of that party. And again, the reason why they can't sit there and understand these things, because they don't want to try to understand it. They don't care to understand it, because the second that they do, then they have to come to a realization that they've been with a party that's been crumbling this country for quite some time now. Things like this is why people are pissed. Things like this, meaning illegal immigration, is why Donald Trump flipped a border county that hasn't voted Republican in over 100 years. And folks, you're seeing this correctly. It's not a typo. It's not a 6-point swing. It's not a 16-point swing or 26. That is a 76-point swing in Donald Trump's favor. Folks, 100 years. That's how bad things have gotten. And MSNBC can't figure it out. They don't understand that it was the policies, it was the actions of the Biden-Harris administration that led us into this scenario. They can't understand how they were trying to sit there and shove their cultural bullshit down our throats, from the legacy media to the entertainment industry to the books, wherever it may be, to the school system. And we've all had enough. We're all sick and tired of it, and they can't get it through their head. a lot of times American people, look, we're generous. We're very generous people, and we're willing to take shit up to so far. And finally, we've had enough of it. Finally, we elected somebody that wants to put us first. Finally, we elected somebody that wants to clean the shit up. Finally, we have somebody that has their head on straight, that's not delusional, talking to dead people like Joe Biden. Finally, we have a guy in office that gets stuff done. And he's going to get stuff done for you. He's going to get stuff done for Israel. He's going to get stuff done for our allies. And you're about to see a global shift in this planet. You're about to see a global shift, and America's back on top, baby. America's back on top, and I've never felt better. I'd never felt better. And some people are just waking up. Some people still can't figure some things out. And one of those people is Joe Scarborough. Joe Scarborough is back in the news. He sat there and finally learned the cost of butter. These people aren't among us, you guys. And that's why they don't understand. The rest of us, average Joe Americans, the patriots, the rest of the country, the red wave from sea to shining sea, we know the price of butter. We know the price of groceries because we are sitting there having to pinch. We are struggling because Biden, Harris suck. They don't have a clue. They really don't have a clue. I think I might have missed somebody. We got Eric Birch with the $2. Good morning, my Patriot family. Always supporting the show, man. Greatly appreciate it. And by the way, badass badge over there. Hey, Dylan, if you're over at Rumble, is there a way that we can get custom badges? Dylan, if you're still listening over at Rumble, a lot of the Patriots are wondering if we can get custom badges. Let us know, please. Other than that, here, he goes, is it framed in gold? So I have this clip of what's going on here? Let me make sure it's the right one. Yeah, this is the right one. Okay.
I want to talk about economy for a second. A few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, somebody who was going to be voting for Kamala Harris came up to me and said, "Oh my God, Trump's going to win." I go, "Why is that?" He goes, I went to the grocery store. Butter's over $3. I kind of laughed and I said, well, that's kind of reductive, isn't it? Said it to myself. To him, I smiled and I said, good point. But it actually, what everything we're hearing after the election is,
I'm just saying, the $7.
What's that?
The $7.
What's that? Butter is $7?
Yeah.
What? Is it framed in gold?
Yeah, what kind of butter?
Anyway,
depends on where you go. But,
okay, well, yeah, okay. Well, anyway, my point is this, Willie. The rent is too damn high, and this guy was saying the cost of butter is way damn too high.
Yeah.
And so I thought it was a bit reductive. It ended up being just the point that if you look at the cost of groceries, if you look at the cost of gas, if you look at the cost of things compared to 4 years ago, it was a very simple.
So I understand my big head's in the way, but 2012, 33%, 2016, 27%, 2020, 20. God, okay. And then 2024, 46. You guys, they don't, this is amazing that they can look at data and go, gee, why would people vote for Trump? Because they were better off. They could afford groceries. They weren't buying food just for their family and illegal immigrants like they are right now. They were just buying food for themselves. But don't worry, because then Joe Biden comes out. Joe Biden has to come out and says this about the economy, says about this, about everything else, just gaslights the shit out of America.
Good morning. Good morning.
Actually, it's an 8-minute clip. Why don't I just tell you what he said? Let's go to this. He said, for over 200 years, America has carried on the greatest experiment in self-government in American and world history. That's not a hyperbole. That's a fact, Jack. Now, I added some stuff in there because we know how he talks. I assured him that my entire administration to work with his team to ensure a peaceful and orderly transition. That's great. Biden said later, adding on, January 20th, we'll have a peaceful transfer of power. You guys, I think this is going to be a bonkers inauguration, by the way. This is going to be a crazy, a part of me sits there and just wants like a ton of like F-22 Raptors with a low flyover. I don't want this high. I don't like this high stuff. I don't like this. Oh, you need ground clearance. I want a low ass flyover of like 50 F-22 Raptors, baby, doing the barrel rolls with Lee Greenwald. I'm so proud to be an American, right? And then we're all crying. Oh, fuck, this is awesome. This is great, America. Shit. Right? We're all weeping as grown men. Just like with our beers. Fuck yeah. That's what we need for inauguration. Can we make that happen? Does anybody have connections to Trump? Can we get the fireworks? I want a whole I want patriotic shit everywhere. I got goosebumps just saying that right now. Giving myself goosebumps. Now, all you need to know here is that Biden says U.S. has the strongest economy in the world, even though people are still hurting. So that's the point of the article here. We're kind of strapped on time, but that was the point of what we're getting at. And why don't we end off with this here? Snow with the $1.99. Thank you so much. Sorry, I'm poor. No thanks to Biden. Hey, you know what? Snow, greatly appreciate it. Even if it was $1, you guys, that's your hard-earned money, and I'm being sincere about that. Thank you so much for even contributing to the show, contributing to the channel. And you know what? Thank you to everybody for contributing their time. Thank you so much. And everybody that went over to Rumble to support us on Rumble, it is greatly appreciated. Thank you so much. You guys, you offering your time, that is, you know what, something that's honestly almost more important than money, because time is something you can't get back. Time is something that is precious to a lot of people. So thank you so much. Greatly appreciated. So here's Kimmy Jimmel. See what I did there? Jimmy Kimmel. I call him Kimmy because, you know, he's crying. He's a girly man. He's a womanly man. Here he is, bawling his eyes out.
It was a terrible night last night. It was a terrible night for women, for children, for the hundreds of thousands of hardworking immigrants who make this country go, for healthcare, for our climate, for science, for journalism, for justice, for free speech. It was a terrible night for poor people, for the middle class, for seniors who rely on Social Security, for our allies in Ukraine, for NATO, for the truth and democracy and decency. And it was a terrible night for everyone who voted against him. And guess what? It was a bad night for everyone who voted for him, too. You just don't realize it yet. Let's be honest, it was a terrible night.
I guess now we're both crying, except I think this is hilarious. These people are so far gone. Oh, God, I had to end it off with that. I'm sorry. My stomach actually hurts. Oh, so I guess the custom badges are coming. So that answers a lot of people's questions. A lot of you are kind of sticking over at YouTube because you like the badge. And don't worry, I guess it's coming, folks. And Rumble's doing a lot of amazing things. So make sure you head over there and follow us. And also, Rumble actually notifies us when we go live. YouTube doesn't do that. So always appreciate everybody. Thank you for joining us. We had a lot of people watching this show today. Make sure you check out 7075 Coffee to get that discount studios. The code link will be in the description over at YouTube as well as Rumble. And then come over and follow us over here. We'll be live again Monday. Over the weekend, we do have a sporadic of videos. But other than that, take care of yourselves. Continue to pray for this country. Change is coming, folks, and it already is happening with Donald Trump as the president-elect to be the next 47th president of the United States of America. And that's all because of your hard work. It's because of your vote and because you want change. And Donald Trump understands that. With that being said, folks, I'll see you later here on The Will Brat Show. Take care, Patriots.